In this video, I'm gonna share with you what top 1% high performers are doing every single day that you're not doing. My billionaire mentor shared this with me. It completely changed my life and it will help transform yours. My name is Suresh Madhavan. I'm the founder and CEO of 221B Tactical. I started out in life with a single mother, no father around, and ultimately made it to medical school and started a business in my garage, literally with a sewing machine and a roll of duct tape, and built the brand and company up to now a global multi-million-dollar corporation. I'm doing these videos for you because this wasn't around when I was coming up. I was lost. I was reading books. I was trying to watch videos and TV shows and stuff like that. None of it was actually making sense, and I was getting nowhere. Ultimately, I was brought under the wing of a gentleman who became my mentor for the last 20 years, who's a billionaire today. And I'm doing these videos to compress that 20 years so you can take these lessons and hopefully implement them into your world. A kid with a single mom from nowhere, rough neighborhood, from nothing to where I am today. And if you are a young person or even a grown person who is just not happy with where you are, these videos and this information can help get you to where you want to be and achieve your ultimate ambitions. So one of the earliest lessons I learned from my mentor, who's now a billionaire, was what he did in a single day. I would watch his schedule and I would listen to what he would do in a single day. And I learned from him that top 1% high performers, they don't blindly accept obligations. They say no way more than they say yes. Now I noticed this not only with him, but some other business associates and people in his network that he hung out with that were also worth a few $100 million or $1 billion. I would notice how they limited what they did, and they were very, very good at saying no to nearly everything and only saying yes to the things that were gonna move them forward, only saying yes to the things that were gonna help them grow. And I found myself, and he called me out on this a few times. He would say, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I would say, "I'm doing this, this, and this, and this." "Why are you doing those things?" I was like, "Well, it's kind of the right thing to do, or the nice thing to do, or whatever." And he said, "Listen, your time here is limited. Your time here on earth is limited. You're trying to achieve $1 billion. You are working with me, and he's spending his hard and very important time with me to mentor me." He said, "But when we're not together, I want to make sure that you are doing what you should be doing, how you should be doing it, and respecting the plan, sticking tactically to the strategy." And I said, "Okay." He said, most people, what they're doing during the course of their day is bottom 99% bullshit. The top 1% are doing the things that are most important to them, and they're not afraid to say no. They don't look at what the normal standards are." And I said, "Well, what do you mean the normal standards?" And he said, typically, people who are going through their day, they're interacting with people, and maybe someone invites them to something, someone asks them to do something, asks them to go somewhere, asks them to help them out with something, asks them to hop on a phone call, whatever, engage in a text conversation, whatever it might be. He said 99% of people engage. Sometimes they engage because they feel bad, it's a friend, it's a neighbor, it's someone at the gym, it's someone at the golf club, whatever it might be. But the 1% hold the line. They know what their purpose is, they know what their ultimate ambition is, and they simply say no. They simply hold to what their timeline is. They hold to what their ambition and their goal is. And I found myself saying, well, I don't really do that because I'm worried about making people feel bad. I'm worried about the social norms, right? You don't want to be like rude. And he said, "Listen, you can worry about other people's feelings and worry about being rude and saying no and declining invitations and all that stuff, but ask yourself, are they worried about you and your success? Are they worried about you not being able to pay your bills? Are they worried about you not being able to afford medication or a vehicle when you're retired?" And I said, "No, most likely not. Most likely these people are not worried about that stuff at all." He said, "So why are you worried about how they might feel when they invite you to some barbecue and you say, 'No, I have to do something else. I'm busy.'" Now, you don't need to tell them what you're doing. You could respectfully decline their invitation because you have to work on the other stuff that you're doing. Holidays are a great example of this. During the holidays, we are getting invited to 10, 20 different things. And so much of what we feel is, oh, if we say no, they might feel bad, or it's kind of just weird. And meanwhile, you're broke, you're out of shape, your relationships and your networking is horrible, but here you are saying yes to go spend 2, 3, 4 hours at someone's home, drinking alcohol, eating food that you probably shouldn't be eating, all because you felt bad saying no. You felt obligated to say yes. The lesson he taught me that completely changed everything was the obligation in this life is to yourself. You are not obligated to please anyone. You are not obligated to do anything. The only thing you're obligated to do is to look out for yourself, your own health, and your own family. That is your obligation. Once you shift your mindset to you being your number one obligation and not worrying about everyone else and obligations and social norms and all that stuff, the top 1% don't care about any of that garbage. They focus on themselves, their goals, their obligations, where they're going, where they want to be, and the actions that are required to get there. Nothing else. When he shared this with me, it was an eye-opening thing because I was that guy that was trying to appease everyone and, I want everyone to like me and all that stuff. And let me tell you, it was a complete game changer. I'm not gonna lie, I had to ease into it. And I had to start saying no strategically, and I kind of, told some little white lies here and there and try to get out of invitations and get out of things, or, someone asked me to help them with something, I said, sorry, I can't. Today, years later, I don't want to say I'm cold-blooded or savage with it, but I kind of am. And it kind of got to the point where now certain people know, they know that I'm not gonna waste my time with these things. They know, and I've surrounded myself with like-minded people where they're not gonna even try to waste my time. You'll realize the bottom 99 are the ones that try to waste your time. They don't really know it, but they're in the bottom 99 for that reason. When you start surrounding yourself with the top 1%, they don't waste your time because they realize they're in that same world. They don't want people wasting their time. So if they're gonna ask you to do something, invite you somewhere, ask to engage in some way, it's for a purpose. It's for a purpose for them, it's a purpose for you, and there's a benefit. There's usually a mutual benefit all around. That's why it's important not only to not engage in bottom 99% behavior and only engage in top 1% behavior, but also surround yourself with the top 1% because you'll have less of that. So I've realized in the beginning, I had to do a lot of that, pushing stuff out of the way and feeling bad and being a little, I don't want to say mean, but maybe slightly rude in some cases that some people might misconstrue as rude. But as I grew my network and I raised up to that top 1%, I had to deal with less and less and less of it. And today, in the network I have and in the circle I have, I almost don't have to deal with it at all. And that is where I want you to get to. I want you to get to that point where it's no longer a concern, where you have to feel bad. You are just operating in a world where that stuff is not even a concern. I gotta tell you, early on in my life with working with this mentor, it was hard. But now it's so easy, it's super simple. And my wealth, my health, my knowledge has all grown exponentially as a result of it. If you start doing this and you start implementing this in your world, I'm telling you, it's what the top 1% do. It's not what the bottom 99% do. And if you want to get to that 1%, you have to start being like the top 1%. Start today. Changed my life, transformed everything in my world, and I know that if you implement it, it'll do the same for you. Guys, I'm sharing this stuff with you because I wish I had it when I was a young man growing up, and this is 20 plus years of knowledge from my mentor who's a billionaire that I'm compressing into these short videos. So you, maybe if you were like me, a young kid, lost, no father, no direction, starting out, or maybe you're a grown person and you're just trying to, get further along in life and, level up. I'm hoping this information and this knowledge can help you in some way, and if it does, it's a win-win. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, maybe even share this video with someone in your world that you think could get some value out of it and benefit from it. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. I'll see you next time.